A lot of my recipes are more than just recipes. They're my life story that have built friendships, that have history, that have created the brand, the Baldi brand, and as a result has been able to introduce me to wonderful characters and people of all sorts. The risotto with truffle. Many memories, many bonding experiences with my father and I. You know, risotto has a little piece of my heart. And the reason being is because even when I was little, my mom used to always make it for me, the risotto with tomato sauce. And you know, she used to plate it and then slowly make it flat on the plate. And she told me, the flatter you make it, the better it's gonna be, because on the sides, on the outer sides of the plate, it's gonna be cooler and you're not gonna burn your tongue on it. So it was not only so enjoyable for me to eat, and I loved the way my mom made it, but also it was entertaining to eat risotto. I couldn't wait for that day of the week where I could have it again. And I think a lot of my customers say that now about the risotto with truffle. I can't wait to go back and have it again. With the risotto with truffle, we have created a lot of friendships, and one of them is with Mr. Tom Cruise. He's loved the risotto with truffles for so many years. I mean, that's one of the reasons why he used to come to the restaurant. I mean, there's many reasons. He created a wonderful relationship with my dad, and they became friends. My dad was invited to all the Mission Impossible premieres. I have a picture of my dad riding the Mission Impossible bike with flames behind him. Like, he wouldn't go to any of these premieres, but he was invited by many. But if Mr. Tom Cruise was like, please come, he would go. And he was so excited about it. Like, he adored Tom Cruise, and Tom Cruise adored my dad. And the one dish that he always asked for was the risotto with truffle. So this is what we're making tonight. The history of rice is so interesting, in part because it's been around for thousands of years, and also because it's really traveled all around the world. A lot of people believe that it originated in China, but the reality is it originated in India, and then it traveled into China eventually. Rice was so beloved that even Alexander the Great, when invading the Asias, decided to bring it back to Greece in 327 BC. And there, the Arabs travelers eventually brought it into Morocco, Egypt, and Spain. It stuck around there for centuries until the Crusaders, when then they decided to bring it in the 15th century into France. Unfortunately, there it didn't really catch on, and eventually found its home in the Piemonte region in Italy, where even today it's grown in large amounts and exported all around the world. It's also there that the rice, also known as little rice, became risotto. Risotto with truffle, in my opinion, is very simple, but you have to make it at the moment. A lot of chefs cook it, they let it sit there, where they grab a pre-cooked risotto, put it in a pan, add the ingredients that they're making the risotto with, and then send it out. I don't believe in that. I believe in making risotto at the moment. It's night and day. The flavor is night and day, the texture is night and day, and it's what you need to give your customers, right? Is perfection for every dish. I mean, that's what I believe in with all my dishes, is how do I make it perfect? How do you make a risotto? It seems very complicated. It really isn't. There's 3 or 4 steps to making a risotto. You just have to pay attention. You take a pot, add a little bit of extra virgin olive oil, pieces of onion, yellow onion preferably, and you saute the onion a little bit. When it starts making a crackling noise, you add the risotto, you toast the risotto, not for very long, only a minute or so. And then you add the white wine to it. You make sure that it evaporates, the alcohol is released, and the risotto takes in all of the white wine. And then you slowly add warm water or chicken broth. I personally like just warm water because at least it's vegetarian. And once the risotto starts to boil with the warm water, you add a little bit of salt to taste. And then, it probably will take about 10 to 12 minutes. When the risotto is becoming al dente and it's releasing its starch and it's becoming creamier, you remove the onion and then you start layering the risotto with the sauce ingredients. In this case, we have the risotto with truffle. And the risotto with truffle requires first a little bit of butter and then add a little bit of cream. And then we take a look at it, mix. Then we add the truffle under olive oil. And then we add truffle olive oil, Parmesan cheese, fontina, diced fontina cheese. And it becomes a fondue, kind of like a risotto with a fonduta of the white truffle sauce. And then at the very end, you can add a little bit more of butter and truffle oil. And that is a process called mantecare il risotto, which is like adding a little bit of creaminess using the butter off the fire. You just add a little bit of butter and mix and mix and mix until the butter is incorporated. And really then you have your risotto, it's ready to go. There's one ingredient that I don't show. It's a little spice that I add to all of my risotti, but I have to keep it a secret. But regardless whether you use it or not, the risotto will come out the same. It's just, it gives it one touch of extra that makes what I believe my risotto the best risotto that there is. My dad was a difficult person to convince to go cook. Like, my dad was like, nah, I don't want to go cook for anybody. They can come here and eat at the restaurant. But when he got a phone call from Mr. Cruz, can you please come and cook for my birthday in Florida, of all places, 5 hours away. Of course, he said right away, yes, I'm coming. And he put it on me, obviously, to go help him. So, me and him went, and he was so excited. We went to the market. We couldn't find any ingredients in Florida. It was kind of crazy, but luckily we brought some with us, and then we bought some salad. We made it happen. It was challenging, to say the least, but he was so happy to do it. But one of the challenges and the problems that we faced is that we were cooking in this kitchen of this restaurant where alcohol was not allowed at all. And if anyone knows my dad, they know that, I gotta have wine, I gotta have beer, I gotta have, something in order for me to function properly. And so he demanded in a very nice way, please go tell Mr. Cruz I need a 6-pack of beer. And that's exactly what happened. Someone went up, told him, and minutes later, who shows up? This guy that we don't know who it was with a 6-pack of beer. We made a bunch of pasta, but the highlight of the evening, again, was the risotto with the truffle. That's what he wanted. It's beautiful because through food and through this dish, I was also able to have this great experience with my dad. Mr. Cruz is known to give out for Christmas these coconut cakes. They're like a ring cake. It looks like a big donut that tastes like coconut, and then it has shaved coconut on top. And we got it for many, many years. Even at Baldi, I got it. And so I used to call my sister at the restaurant and say like, oh, did you get the cake? Because I felt special, I got it. I thought maybe she wouldn't get the cake anymore. And I was like the special one. But she was telling me, no, we got the cake too. So, and it was delicious. But anyways, then one year we didn't get the cake anymore. I was like, where's the cake? And I thought like, oh my God, what did I do? Did I offend, Mr. Cruz in any way? Like, I don't remember offending him. Like, I would ask around, like, did you get the cake? And they said, no one got the cake. So I felt much better. And my dad, wow, with this cake, don't touch my cake. Like, no one would eat the cake. The cake would sit there for months. Don't touch my cake. This is my cake. Because he was so honored to get it and so proud to show people like, you know, you got the cake from Mr. Cruz. And I kind of felt like that too. This experience of traveling and cooking for someone happened again years later when Mr. Cruz called me and said, can you please come and cook for my wife for her birthday? Only thing she requested was the risotto with truffle. And so of course I said yes. I remember, you know, making the risotto with truffle with all my ingredients. When I was finished, who comes and says thank you to me? It's Tom. Like, he was so just kind about it. Thank you so much for, you know, coming. It means so much to me. I miss your dad. And it was a great satisfaction because I know that my dad, if he could have told me from heaven, can you please go and cook for him? That's what he would have done. And I would do it in a second again. Mr. Cruz, if you're listening, thank you for, you know, what you've done, because through loving the food, you brought so much joy to my dad and so much joy to our family. That one dish has allowed me so many experiences, so many wonderful moments, and it continues to give. For me, which I love to make the risotto, but also for customers of my past, the present, and the future that are gonna be able to enjoy it for many years to come.